Hello, this is Kim. I just wanted to let you know that it is January 7th, 2024. I think it's the first time that I actually said 2024 and realized that I meant it. It's like one of those, oh, you never know. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. Oh, let's toast. I didn't exactly toast. My gentleman friend was very, very sick. So I was like, let's take a selfie. And we still had to maintain social distance. His parents were his mother was there at least, his father had gone to bed, and, it was, the most comfortable I think I have ever been, like, in, a people situation. I cannot explain it because I always feel so alien and alienated, and, I mean, and for once, I was like, I belong." Which is then when you leave that, it's sort of like, "Well, I don't belong now anywhere." So it's a strange energy that I am feeling. So I wanna put that out there right away, because you never know. If you're like, "Oh, this certainly is not the card for me." Well, it might be drawn, with my energy too. I mean, we do mix and merge, and yet, yes, I try to take for the collective. At the same time, I am part of the collective, right? And, the other thing is that it's January 7th. I'm gonna repeat it again, and it is the anniversary of my grandmother's death. The grandmother that, pretty much raised me. So she's the one that, lived in Maryland the whole time, and I was her caregiver, and so, there's a whole hot mess issues. I don't know if I'm sad, but the energy is just different and, sort of, antsy and wrong with me, and I'm like, "Am I losing my mind?" And the answer with me is always maybe, but there you go. I wasn't supposed to spend money. And last night, I did. I knew I was going to be giving this reading, and I knew that I really wouldn't be able to pull from my personal collection up in my office because it tends to wake people up in the morning. It doesn't matter what time of morning or what time of evening. Inevitably, I wake somebody up. And that's why the energy of the house sometimes feels wrong when they're there, like my parents are there, and they're gonna be there a lot more. On a personal note, my father is having a knee replacement surgery on January 15th. So that's a little over a week. And all I've heard about is his surgery for now 2 months. And his injury for now, I think we're going on 6 months. And I wanna say, that is nothing, I do not want to, say that that is bad or that I shouldn't be hearing it, but it is all I've been hearing it. And I'm getting this, it's almost overwhelming my identity and my abilities. And, I mean, yes, everything needs to be about him right now, but everything is about him and my mother and the people that need me. And it's too much. I'm not worrying about myself. And that needs to stop. But then it's that circle of how can it stop? Because you're going to be putting stockings on and, your compression hose, and you're going to have to be, cooking dinner more. And, my Christmas gift was a snowblower and a shovel. And yes, there's other stuff, but it all sort of revolved around the snowblower and the snow shovel, you know, um, and gloves to go with that. And I'm just like, okay, okay, well, we live in Maryland, so maybe we won't get anything. Mm, I lived in West Virginia for 4 years. I'm not even really that scared of snow, but somehow it becomes very threatening in Maryland. I think it's because I lose my lack of freedom and agency in snow, even more so than usual. And the car represents my freedom and agency. I can go to Morgantown, I can go to this, I can be an adult, right? Here I can be an adult. And yeah, so I want to get that those energies out there so that you are aware of what is going on. Do I have a list a mile long of what I am supposed to be doing or how I'm supposed to be doing it? Or yes, I have literal responsibilities for one group that is 2 pages long, and I'm free. I just get the membership for free. It's like it's a way of getting the membership, being part of the community, and also not having to like pay the penalty of having my dad pay for the community. He was going to have me quit. I mean, like it's $50 a month. Don't get me wrong, okay? So like, but I put in a lot of work, and it's taken over my life a little bit. And that's many communities have done that. So like, when does Kim have to write? Is that why I'm so uh tense here? Is it because I do not see my friends? Like I've reached out to 3 or 4 people this week that were not my usual, like when they're my usuals, but like they're not like necessarily the people that I've been helping, like helping with their health crises and stuff. And I was like, hey, otherwise known as Kim's going underwater and she needs someone that actually knows her and can actually say, hey, like, let me grab your hand. And not in like this creepy sort of, I'm like pulling you under way, and also, and not this creepy, I'm making you into a forced situation way. So like, you don't want to, like, your great love interest of your life. You don't necessarily, if you're not actually love interests, want to like put them into that energy of I'm a hot mess and I don't know what to do. And like Carrie Fisher on The Big Bang Theory has nothing on me. Okay. That is where we're at. So now I do have two oracles that one, which we're gonna do the second, is interesting. And it might be a little hard to read the way I have it in the vehicle. I'll have to see how we need to do it. Like I've never used it before. Neither of these I have. Okay. So this is the transparent oracle. Now I don't watch oracles. Um, so when I'm going to West Virginia, I listen to a few. Or if I'm going across, I don't have enough time to like listen to an audiobook and really get into it. I listen to a 15-minute, little oracle reading, love, career, general, whatever, right? Pisces. Okay. So this is a transparent oracle. And now mine is the second edition. And I keep hearing it over and over and over again. Different people. Now, so it's not the same practitioner at all. Okay. So I have to like put that out there a little bit clearly that it's different people. Something like it's YouTube. They do sort of have predictive, like, you're subscribed, then they tell you everything you're subscribed to. And we all only have a limited amount of oracles, unless you're Kim who keeps buying them more. And eventually might overtake the amount of books in her house. Entire house, not just her collection of right now, they all fit into a very big trunk, and I don't know. It's coming, peeps. It's coming. Right, another one I found, which was happenstance. I was not gonna get another Oracle, or I was gonna get a small, cheaper one. You just like want to be like little TP decks, right? And I'm actually taking I'm part of her community. I do writing prompts with her, and I'm just testing it out. So I don't want to be like join blah blah blah. Okay, I'm not saying join the Hag School. I'm not endorsing. Just saying what I am taking and doing, and that it's sort of like my dark chocolate, if you will, that when I need a Kim break, I don't want to do my own poetry, like with work that I don't even consider creative, right? And I don't want to do, metrical poetry, which is also work. Like when you want to step out of that, but you still want to use that energy that you're good at, and that you sort of like you can be like a diary at the same time as I found that the Hag School has that quality. She has forms. Her name is Danielle Dulski. And then she also has like cohorts that help her there at the Hag School. This is the Sacred Hags Oracle, Visionary Guidance for Dreamers, Witches, and Wild Hearts. Now the wording is by Danielle Dulski, who, if you get on her, just get on her, oh, what would you call it? I guess mailing list. And she gives out writing prompts, just like one sentence, a few words, like a list. And that's help even if you don't join her community. Okay. And it does, like, of course, be like, and this is my book, and this is, that's what every mailing list does, right? And the illustrations are by Janine Hausman. And I'm gonna like put it up. We're gonna start with these. Okay. And I found, I don't know if I actually have really talked to her personally, but I found her meditations are interesting. I don't really do the meditations because if I had time for meditations, maybe I'd be less crazy. But I don't. So for bed, um, we have three poems we can do a week right now. Or like three prompts. I mean, you can probably do more if you really want to, but that she gives us. So, I'll pick my days as I have time and as I don't pass out before I turn on the light. Or turn off the light. And yeah. So, complete happenstance that the Crystal Fox, which is my local place, had it. So now, I don't really know what these say or what these mean. This is the first time I used it. Let me get, they don't have really uprights. It was this one that was first. They don't really have like uprights, inverts. So here we are. It's number 46, The Dance of the Rebel Heathens. And like, I kind of like that idea, don't you? The rebel heathens. Well, does it get more rebellious than that? I think not. And then you see the three women here, and they might be just dancing or belly dancing or whatever, right? And the fire is there, the sigil is there, the trees are there. All right. Many of the color coordinations are there. All right. And what it says is grandmother speaks. So remember, there's a lot of hag imagery. Like the hag school, which is what drew me to it because I was having a day where I was like, I'm totally like Carrie Fisher and like this bathrobe and all this stuff. I'm like, "Huh." But it doesn't have to quite be that way, just so you know. So, the Sacred Hag's Oracle, there is some like ancestrally advice that's also given. Grandmother speaks. Ah, my love, let's not take ourselves so seriously. Our magic surely suffers when the ropes of our discipline become too tightly wound after all. Just for today, let's be true priestesses of the wild and celebrate the spinning pleasure planet on which we live. Let us drum, let us dance, let us remember why we choose to be born to this feeling flesh. So, my question to all of us is why are we living? Like, what made us choose? Like, what makes us stay? There's so many options out there. And yet, somehow, there's something about something sensual that is just so a light draw of, breeze, and you go, oh, it's in the winter, and it's like this wonderful. And even if it's freaking cold, sometimes you're like, ah, it's wonderful, right? There's something about being present and in our bodies, right? And I don't always want to be in my body, but grandmother spoke, okay? Morning ritual, the spell of desire. What a brilliant blessing in this amber dawn. Breathe deeply and face the south, the direction of heat and joy. Close your eyes and ask yourself what you desire most. What fleeting medicine would nourish your aching heart? Sense the embodied feeling. What color, shape, and temperature is your desire? Desire is much sharper than longing, and it runs hotter and feels more urgent than our lesser wants. Now, as you hold the tension of this feeling, you recall a time in your life when what you desired most was something that you have now, something you in this moment do hold in your hands or heart. Dance between these psychic points now, holding the feeling of desire all the while. Memory of desire, present moment, yet to come vision of your current desire fulfilled, present moment, a memory of desire, and so on. Stay with this and keep breathing. Your body may want to move in response to the sensation. Let it, if so. Become desire embodied in soft skin, until you feel a shift of consciousness of the yet to come begin and feel similarly reachable, similarly familiar in vibration and realness. Flow the psychic dance and begin to ground yourself. Feel your heartbeat, breathe, and come home to only the present moment. Here you are, and so it is. All blessings be. And there is a moonlit ritual, the Rebel's Rest. Face the moon if you are able, and read these words aloud to that silver orb who has seen it all. And if I do this correctly, you can definitely have it like play repeat and be like, I ain't got any of that. All right, so face the moon or just stand or sit if you have to, whatever. Be present. I sang the softest flesh back onto the broken ribs of who I once was, and I danced my dead heart back to life. I howled for my depth, and the chill of my eyes returned to the black hole sockets where the worms had made their home. Again, I was whole and human. Again, I was a tender babe full of faith, and I celebrated my own birthday with a lullaby, for sleeping in the heathen's sleep, the rebel's rest. Hey, and I think that that is absolutely lovely. I always get stuck on something, and that is I have so many wants and desires and wishes and blah, 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 for the world, for me, for love, for writing, for career, and maybe we just need to focus. And like some people would say focus on one, and I can't because mine are kind of mingled. I want love, right? I know what I want, right, with love and who I want, and we'll see. But at the same time, there's a career that goes with it. And so I need that person to show up and be part of it. And if not just to support me, then to also be part of it and participate in it and inspire it and blah, 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 right? And like ideally, you build our careers together. No, that's ideally. Maybe it wouldn't work out that way in like real life, but in my head, like all those desires and wants are like one big jellyfish blob. So instead of like untangling, which is what I always try to do, and go, I just need to pick one. Maybe I just need to pick the entirety of the situation. Let's say the thing. I want the thing. And like just have it really be nebulous. Like, what is the thing? I want, I want the thing. Like, and I would know what I meant. And any god, goddess, spirit, blah 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 would know what I meant. I want all the things. All right, you get all the things. We'll work on them one on one, but go for it. Okay, so that is one way of sort of like that I'm going to try to be working around my own blocks because I get stuck. Well, what do I want to really talk about, and what do I really want to, work on? And this is number 35, the Shadow Keeper, secrets. Okay. The grandmother speaks. There are, of course, those who speak of secrets as if they are some evil force that will always break you, that are a sign of your weakness or fear. I say secrets are sometimes truths that must gestate, that are always destined to be revealed in time. You don't know when your secrets until you're ready to tell them, beloved, until you can speak of these things with care, until the sharing itself can become the untethering ritual it deserves to be. Don't tell me. I don't want to know, but reflect on this. Which secrets do you keep warm for now, letting them simmer in shadows until they are ready to be born into the light? Which secrets feel cumbersome and binding, and which feel more like boundaries than cages? And that's a good way of putting it, boundaries versus cages. Like maybe like instead of boxing ourselves in and we're like, we're not allowed to feel this, we're not allowed to feel this, we're not allowed I know so many people that do that. Because it's a form of trying to protect ourselves without letting ourselves live. And I would like to protect myself from as much pain as possible, but I also want to run head on and, I do try to do something that scares me each day, no matter how bad of mood I am. Sometimes just showing up, and, like, entering my house on a bad mood day, is a sign of bravery. I mean, like, that's just how it is, right? Alright, this is the morning ritual to speak a secret. Sometimes when a secret is ready to be revealed, we only need whisper its truth to the wild unseen. There's something about this practice that breaks down the wall of fear that keeps our most suffocating secrets ever seeing the light of day. If you feel ready, if today is the day, stand at your altar, breathe, and speak into the nothingness, that secret that gets caught in your throat. This is an initiation, to be sure. Consider also telling a dear friend. And no, there is no shame in therapy. Believe me, trust me, there isn't. Online, I get told to get therapy all the time. I am, okay, I am. And also, if you're online, do not tell somebody to get therapy unless you're willing to hold their hand and also talk to them first. And make sure that that is like advice that is maybe it's necessary, but like make sure that it'll be taken in and wanted and like not make things worse. That was my TED talk on how not to say things. Sorry. So if you feel like you need therapy, discuss it with your friends, your loved ones, people that have been noticing your moods, and then you have to decide. I wasn't given many choices that I should have been given as an adult, including what medication to take, and not even my family has changed my medication without my true permission. When you are pressured by your doctor because your parent is next to you saying that you've done something, then um, perhaps you need to like reevaluate, say that they need to leave the room, and then talk. I mean, that's the way it is. Okay. Now things have changed a lot in 20 years. So trust your instincts, trust your guidelines, your personal guidelines, like, like rules. They have these things now, real rules and guidelines and laws that they didn't have when I was going through the majority of my mental health crisis, which hopefully with any luck is in remission. You never know. You never know. But so please, so yes, I do get therapy. Yes, I do have wonderful friends that I do lean on. But please, if you ever feel even threatened, like that, oh, you need therapy and you feel like the pressure online, don't take that in. And I don't mean that, don't take that in a positive way. If you agree and you feel like that's a great decision, please. But if you're feeling even worse about it and how awful of a person it is, and no, so like just because a tarot reading says, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with therapy," yes, there is nothing wrong with therapy. That's a good. That's a good wording. But the problem is, if I say it online, and then you take it and go, "Oh, another place is saying," no, it has to be a personal decision. And the great thing is if somebody doesn't click with you, switch, go to somebody else. I've had many different therapists. The current one, I think I'm on 15 years. And we're at just enough of like we keep it surface enough that I don't feel too threatened. I can say what's really going on during my week. But I can also talk about stuff in the past that contributed to that week without fear. And I don't have like this really deep, intense. I don't think I could take the deep intense. I'll always know that your limits, okay? I am a slow bipolar little woman. I was gonna say girl, but I'm really not a girl, right? Okay, so please don't take the fact that I just read that off of a random Oracle guide as anything but that therapy really isn't bad. If you decide for it to have it, then go for it. Okay. And as always, I always insert myself every time that this occurs. Um, and even when it's not, you can always reach out and either email me or talk to me or message me or whatever you do. I tease about smoke signals, although I'm not sure it's exactly PC anymore. But like anything, all right? Get a hold of me. I'll talk to you. I'm not a therapist. I'm definitely not a licensed therapist, but I'll tell you what I get out of it. And I'll tell you, like, if you just need somebody to dump and listen to, I do that very well with, like, the listening part, okay? Alright. Alright, we'll continue, okay? Okay. So consider all telling it, dear friend. I know there's no shame in therapy. You owe no one your story, but when you're ready, the opportunity to share will be there, okay? This is a moonlight ritual, affirmations of the shadow keeper. Take your journal and finish these prompts. If you feel called, speak these three affirmations aloud while gazing into a mirror. All right, so this is first one. Tonight I shall look the gals in the eye and say, the second, to my dreams, I shall befriend my many monsters and finally meet. The third, when the dawn paints the sky with its amber spell, I will wake knowing. Okay. And then, like, once you'd answer those prompts, and then you would, for the ritual part, you would, I guess, say it in the mirror. He does these for our high schools. I don't do the ritual part. I just do the writing prompts. So please, that's chill as well. Also, and he's like brilliant. Like, I love these colors. I really like the black and white motifs um, with the really bright, colors behind it, the oranges and the really vibrant purples and such. I think it's really, really works well. This is a Flame Tenders Temple, number 34. And you can keep track of these numbers. They may or may not matter. Some people are very about numerology, and I don't know how to reduce to save my freaking life. I'm not a number girl, so sorry, but you can do it. So this is the long vision. Grandmother speaks. Witches have the long vision. Witches know that great things take time to cook, and the most epic spells take time to come to fruition. Witches see themselves as part of a long line of wise ones, with their most ancient ancestors and loving descendants as part of the story. We are but a single breath in the wild myth that is our soul family. We are so small and yet so extraordinary. We must tend the flames of this damaged miracle we call a planet. We must tend the flames in the name of the dying art and soon to be reborn grace. Consider this. What did your grandmothers light candles and speak prayers for that they themselves did not receive, that you perhaps have? And what do you sing your hopeful songs for that might only come to pass for your compassionate yet to be born kin? And I'm going to change that just slightly because I'm fairly certain I'm not having children. But I'm going to say heirs, which is actually two of my friends' children. Well, my friends' children and so far my friends' nephews. Um, so they would be my heirs, past those two gens. So it doesn't have to be bloodline, if you want to call it that, okay? So it doesn't have to be my daughters or my, okay? Just those that come beyond us. I want to put this out there because I don't want anyone feel alienated and being like, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, ending my generational trauma by not having kids. It's pretty much the go. And if my friend and I decide we want kids, it's probably gonna be adoption at this point. And I'm pretty sure whoever that friend is, if it's the same friend, probably agree. Probably. I don't know. When one is born with like a set of both gifts and a set of limitations, shall we call it limitations, extraordinary gifts, they're both really the same thing. Sometimes you don't want to give them to your children. Morning ritual, long line of flame tenders. Whatever heartache you might name on this quiet morning, consider its universality. This is not sugary sweet advice to bypass your experience. Quite the contrary. This is a call to understand just how held you might be by the long arms of time. How your particular ache is part of a larger whole, collective tenderness that runs in your blood. Close your eyes and face east, the direction of the rising sun. Hold a single lit candle. Imagine that you have generations upon generations standing behind you, with even more yet to be born loved ones standing in front of you. Or their heirs, bitches, language. They are you and you are they. Breathe here, imagining them breathing with you, imagining them holding candles of their own. These are the resilient and they are tender just as you are. Moonlit Ritual, Hymn of the Altar Keeper. Before you take to your bed this night, chant these words in a somber tone. Okay, guys, this is where you can hit it on repeat. Hopefully I do it right. So long have I tended these flames for the Lilith and the Jezebels, for the trapped and the tamed. So long have I wailed for the broken ones and the demanded restitution from the vile, neon-blooded power hoarders. Too long have I looked for my own load to be lessened, for my babes to be wilder than I can ever be. On this holy night, when the darkness comes creeping up on me like a shadow creature, I shall be full of faith in the unseen hooded ones who know me best. I'll say so it is. Once. Okay? So just remember, whenever there's like kids talking about, oh, there are these, yes, there are, of course, ancestral lines. Please, like, don't get me obviously wrong. I'm not a no sciencer. I mean, like that goes beyond flat earther. But at the same time, like we are having like different type of relationships and parenting and like it's all different. It just is. And maybe it's not actually different and we just like think it's really different. Like I can like, you know, parent somebody else's child even while it's their child and they're actually the parenting, but I can insert myself and be a teacher and that's sort of like parenting and like they're sort of like my progeny just because of that and like there's so many different things. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink. Okay, so like so there you go. Craziness. I know it's like him him on crack, right? But it's true. It doesn't have to be biological. Okay. This is the transparent oracle. That's what I was talking about. Heard on many places. Okay. It also has a nice little booklet. Now, what's going to be interesting is me trying to show it to you. I'm not sure how great on this type of screen it's going to be. Comes with white cloth because it's transparent and it's circular. Okay. So we're gonna try it, man. Mm, Just need about a quarter. And I'm like really bad at folding, if you can't tell. Okay, so let's go with this. This will probably always be my favorite card, if you want to call it a card. Let me get it up here. Let me get me up here. All right, can you see? Oh yeah, you can sort of see it. Okay, now it is like I said, completely clear. So like these that really overlay well on top of other tarot cards. Okay. So this is 29. It is the guide, the turtle, and I have always considered the turtle, all turtles, my guide. And you have many poems about them, and many poems about the world carried on the back of a turtle, which may or may not be relevant to you. I don't know. It's always relevant to me, and maybe in my situation with too much stuff, it's even more relevant. Put it on the turtle. Keywords: longevity, support, protection, patience, strength, endurance. When we think of a turtle, probably the first distinguishing characteristic that comes to mind is its hard shell. So it's easy to see why this guy should be so intrinsically associated with the protective qualities when delving deep into the emotional waters of human society and relationships. It is important for us to develop this protective shell Not to shut out the needs of others, but to be able to provide the strength and support for those who need it without being swept away in the muddied currents. Oh, I like that. So, yeah, being swept away with them. So we ourselves are also protected, right? So we make sure that we're protecting others, we're protecting ourselves. And it's not too much. Oh, that's a Kim thing. I give myself away too much and then I cry and then no one can help me. Although the turtle is primarily an aquatic animal, she still lays her eggs on dry land, very deep within the sand. Then she leaves her brood, trusting to the protection of the earth and the instincts of the young ones, which always lead them directly to the ocean home at birth. Turtle has a long lifespan and is also one of the most ancient creatures on Earth, remaining relatively unchanged since the day of the dinosaurs. As a reflection of this quality, many world creation myths feature the turtle quite prominently, often carrying the world on its back. Here you go! I didn't read this. It's just like my personal go-to. The Hindu myth of the world being carried on the back of four giant elephants, which is in turn stand for the back of the giant turtle, has even been emulated in popular fiction by the author Terry Pratchett in a series of Discworld novels. As a guide, it means turtle has a great stabilizing influence on our lives, teaching us the quality of patience, excuse me, steadfastness, and lending us protection from the turbulent waters, which can threaten to overwhelm us. When combined with the cards from the east, there may be slowness to accept new ideas, and we'll see what we have. So if you remember that slowness to accept new ideas or ways of thinking. With the south, there may be an urge to retreat into your shell from the glare of daily life. And if combined with its own direction, turtle may advise to take matters slowly and steadily into relationship. When cards from the north appear, protective qualities of the turtle are emphasized. If turtle is combined with the cards from above, there may be divine protective influences at work, or reduced sensitivity to planetary powers. When combined with below, turtle gives the protection and patience needed to journey deep into the realm of the most ancient ancestors. And if this card from within appear the turtle, that is more important to remember of energetic protection when dealing with needs of others. And I am probably not going to be saying anything more about all those directions listed. I think they stack on each other. But we do have west with the turtle, just if you are keeping track. And I will say those at least. And then we have the south. You see, no, you need the white. Trying to do this and like not have everything go. Okay, so you can see it's almost can be either a diamond or a square. Okay. Like I said, so many people are using these right now, and they give fabulous readings. I just haven't used it, hence the book. All right, the South. This is the South one, okay? It is 11 Gateway Summer. Always good to have a summer, even like when I'm during winter right now, the Northern Hemisphere, summer in the summer. Southern Hemisphere people, this might be for you. Abundance, enjoyment, health, fruition, passion, wealth. The gateway for this direction is the season of summer, here represented by a square formed from the stems of roses, with red, white blooms at alternate corners. The square is a sharp of structure. Excuse me. The square is a shape of structure in the material world, here representing how our focus in summer tends to be on the joys of the outer rather than the inner world. It is a time of long days and short nights when the world seems full of life and bright colors, and shadows of winter seem far distant. It is also a time when businesses thrive and people spend more money. Is that true? I mean, like, yes, okay, yes. But also, the holidays just happened here and money was spent, which is one of the reasons why Kim was in trouble. But I did go on a lot of traveling during the summer and the fall, so that's a lot of why Kim is also in trouble. The rose is one of the most beautiful summer flowers with long-lasting blooms and a heady fragrance, representing beauty and abundance offered by the season. Along with the earthly realm, the joy of summer brings magical awareness out into the open, and is a long-standing folk tradition that the fairies emerge from the hills to dance on Midsummer's Eve, as in Shakespeare's play Midsummer Night's Dream. Just as fairies can be vicious as well as beautiful and kind, there can be a harshness to the penetrating light and heat of summer, and the side of the season is reflected um, to the obvious presence of thorns in the card's image. The colors of the roses on this card, red and white, hold deep significance in fairy tradition as symbols of polarity: fire and ice, blood and water, female and male. I'm gonna add yin and yang because we don't have to be all female male. I mean, like every time I see female male, I want to put that out there. Like my transgender, non-binary, on some spectrum of it community. I see you, I feel you, and half the time, I don't feel female, and half the time I don't feel male. So I mean, like I get it. We don't always feel in our body. And I do not obviously get your personal experience. I want to make that very clear, but I want to let you know that you are seen. And if you ever want to tell me your personal experience, please do, good or bad. Okay. Okay. So I have to get that out there when do this. Yes, there's polarities, but we'll say yin and yang as well. Okay. And masculine and feminine, of course, don't have to be male and female as I just put it. Now I have to find where I am after that hot mess rant. This hints at another of the qualities of the direction of south, that is the open gateway, passion, and power of sexual attraction. Okay. And since we just had a card of the west, a new level of passion and commitment may be found within an emotional relationship. And that's interesting because the turtle, which you're saving yourself and others at the same time. I don't know if that's significant to you, but it is something perhaps to note. Okay. And this one also really drew me. I don't know what it means, Java, but I say it means something for you. All right. Hopefully she's looking. 19, the guide, the B. It is south. Keywords: generosity, community, teamwork, humility, harmony, service. Bees are communal creatures and nature's true alchemists, transforming nectar into liquid gold of honey. The buzzing of bees is one of the most enchanting sounds of summer, and to watch them in action is to meditate on the value of a simple and honest life of service. Bee does not agonize over where she should rather be or what she would rather be doing, but simply gets on with her work and life, playing her role in the community. As a guide, Bee teaches us to value teamwork, not for personal gain, but for the greater good. Bee does not think and create as an individual, but as a hive mind, which is greater than the sum of its parts. Within the hive, harmonious existence is created through everyone knowing their place and playing their role with contentment and satisfaction. Their ability to communicate is fascinating and mysterious, including use of aerial movements, which appear to us a joyous dance. Certain priestesses in ancient Greece were known as Melisae, meaning bees. This shows us the sacred nature of the devotion of this guide and how the humility of bee we can live our lives with greater purpose and pure connection with each other and the divine. All right, so we just had the West and the South. So cards from the West combined show happiness and healing that can be found through the company of others. And with if I can find it, South, it's South here. It's just where there's like a lot of quiet. Oh, it is South, so it's not gonna. It's another South. It's not gonna show that. But anyway, I called out Dalva because she's a beekeeper. All right. Now this is an east one. We're getting them all. Now this is the air. Uh, to get it to show. Sorry that it's not like a nice little square. It's like Kim's little lump. Okay, you can see that. It's three element air. Keywords, knowledge, education, inspiration, thought, science, and logic. And we only have 1 minute after this. This card shows the elemental symbol for air, surrounded by the circle of clouds and rendered completely in the colors of its direction, yellow. Here we see the element of air in its purest conceptual form. This card represents the power of clear, unobstructed thought and logic. Academic pursuits or focused research may be indicated, and clear progress can be made in any intellectual matter. So, all of that work and career stuff might be a good time right now, right? Air may also indicate a rare moment of unfettered inspiration and knowledge of how to act on it. It's a card of scientists, teachers, lawyers, philosophers, and great communicators. Also represents someone of the zodiac signs Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. With cards in the same direction, this card can add an extra level of clarity, rational understanding. Well, we haven't had any more of these. With the West, it can bring the voice of reason to otherwise emotional situation or personality. So maybe this will help a little bit, like when we're trying to like meditate and think about what we really want, who we really want, who we really want to be, all of the big questions. All right, how we really want to feel. And we also had the South, so it can indicate a truly inspired creative venture. Yeah, it's a good call. Okay, and our final card. I have a hard time calling these cards because they're so just intriguing. Um, I'm glad they had a background for me. Otherwise, you'd have like some weird blue background. You get this. You see it. It looks like seeds almost. Right. Two, weather, wind. All right, so that's maybe they are supposed to be seeds. I don't know. Anyway, it's like the wind. Keywords: chaos, unpredictable, adventure, disruption, clearing, disorganized. Spring brings the beginning of warmer weather, but as the air pressure changes, so we are faced with high winds and disruption. Wind is represented here by the images of leaves being chaotically blown around by the unseen but keenly felt forces of nature. Just when you think you have everything nice and organized, along comes a great big gust of wind and throws it all up in the air. Frustration is not going to help, however. Tell that to Kim. Tell that to Kim. Instead, it is the best to embrace the sensation and allow the winds of inspiration into your life. For who knows where they will take you? Like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, you may find yourself swept into a new land and great adventure. I like that. That's what my favorite childhood one always had to be repeated. It's the time of VHS. So my mother would have to, like manually rewind, and I'd be upset the whole time, and then she'd finally press play. This powerful wind may also help you rid yourself of unwanted clutter in your life. It can indicate a mental revolution, clearing out old and worn ideas, making space for new and exciting ways of being. This card appears with others from the same direction, and thoughts or plans may be going the rather chaotic phase. Mm, I don't think we had any of the others at the east. You might lie to me. You might say, I know we had West and Fire. Um, so the West, there's a chaotic wind represents the emotional influence of a partner, friend, a whirlwind romance, or simply emotions thrown into confusion. And Fiery South makes an appearance. In this combination, creativity may run riot like a wildfire fed by this wind. Okay. So the answer is yes. It had lots and lots of different ones, right? And they sort of all sort of go on each other and can you even tell sort of look like shrinky dinks. But I have to admit that they sort of have like this message of anything is possible if we decide that it's possible. I think I got that from both Oracle decks. So yeah, today I'm doing a lot of reading because I haven't used these decks before at all, ever. I've just well, one I've listened to and one I've never seen. So I have to say though, right? Like these would be great clarifiers, but also amazing way of like looking when you have a lump of wants like I do. I want my books out there. I don't want to do social media, But I want and maybe it gives us a way of, like, untangling the knot, right? It's not even a web at this point, it's a knot, and you have to try to get one part loose before the other and get one part unknotted before you get to the other, and maybe that's how life is, and this is giving us some direction. So, hopefully, you've gotten something out of that one. I've had a good time. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and if you find this at a different time, consider it timeless. All right, take care, be well. So it is.